Everyone, and thank you for being with us on a very big Wednesday morning in Houston, Texas. I'm Alona Carson along with Jacob Rascone. We've got two major stories happening
That's
today.
right. Huge game today. And in the past half hour, we just got an update from the National Hurricane Center on our storms. All right, Cheetah, what's the latest? What are they saying?
Yeah, the good news is this forecast has really stayed steady. So that 7 a.m. update really didn't provide a whole lot of change from what we saw at 4 a.m. The next update that we're going to get at 10, and I think that's what's really going to be critical. That's after the hurricane hunters fly in that low, investigated at 9:30, and see, we're going to continue to get information and data from them. So I think that 10 a.m. advisory and then 1 o'clock again will be a key updates there. This morning, that low is sending a surge of tropical moisture this way. 288, the Gulf Freeway, man, Harris County on the east side, and then Jen's got that problem even on the west side. So we have got a lot of rain that we're dealing with right now. Flash flood warning active in Brazoria County till 8 a.m. Now we've got a flood advisory. This is just areas south of. Let me show you from Shore Acres into LaPorte. Let me zoom in a little bit closer here. This has been an area that we've been watching here from Pasadena to LaPorte to Deer Park. Look at that. When you see red on the radar, that is really, really heavy rain. And then up 290 from Cypress into Jersey Village. Not bad. We've seen a few passing showers, but pretty much everyone getting in on some rain this morning. That's just making it really messy out there. So the latest from the National Hurricane Center, this is the official track for potential tropical cyclone 1. Max sustained winds right now at 30 miles per hour. And that becomes 39. We will have our tropical storm on our hands, which is forecasted to happen at 1 o'clock this afternoon. Now, I will say the good news, this races off to the east. I mean, probably by 7 p.m. this evening, it's touching down into the Texas-Louisiana border. Watch what happens with our winds. You know, Jacob, Alona, we've been talking a lot about the active rain right now, but let me tell you, a big component of this story will be the wind, and that is going to drive probably a lot of the impacts in Galveston, along the bay, and right through Chambers County as well. You're going to be hearing about this on a national level, but the good news is by 3 o'clock this afternoon, you're going to say, what wind? You're going to be less than 10 miles per hour. So now through noon, though, it's going to be pretty active down there.
And that 34 miles an hour is sustained, so the gusts are going to be
yeah, we could be tracking winds gusting up to about 40, 45 plus. So
okay, we'll keep an eye.
Impacts.
Okay, yeah, absolutely. Power outages, things like that. Cheetah, thank you. Jen is tracking big impacts. This mess on the Katy Freeway is really pretty dramatic when we see it.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not surprised. It's one of our areas of concern. It's flood prone. This is the Katy Freeway, but it is the main lanes at Houston Avenue. If you're new to town, going, whoa, I mean, this is what some of our highways and streets are designed to do, is to take on the water and take it out to the Gulf. This is one of those areas, though, it's so low lying that when we have heavy rain, the water just tends to collect here and it's blocking all of the right lanes. We'll have to wait for that to recede. It is having impacts to my west side drivers. Right around Shepherd, you'll notice a ton of brake lights, traffic trying to figure out whether they're going to exit Taylor or they're going to work their way to Memorial Drive. If you take Memorial Drive, it is heavy approaching downtown Houston. I've also noticed a ton of traffic on Montrose southbound at Allen Parkway. Just giving you a minute to see what drivers are going through what lanes. You see these heavier trucks using some of the right lanes. I mean, I wouldn't advise it, but that's what they're doing. And I think, you know, you have those drivers that are like, well, at least if I keep moving, I'm going to get through it. And the next driver takes a chance because they see the car in front of them making it through. But the left lane is going to be the safest. So just take your time in that area. Otherwise, I did want to take you to this fatal crash, 69 northbound and 99. We still have the whole highway shut down. If you're making your way toward New Caney or Roman Forest, we do have some slight delays in that area. You will be rerouted to the service road. We've had new problems popping up left and right. The newest crash is on the South Loop at Woodridge, going to be right here in this southeast corner. You can see what the radar looks like over the entire city. We definitely have some traffic out there. We have some slow conditions. I'm giving you a second to look at the orange and the yellow conditions and the red that's on the map. The high water area that I told you about, there's flashing lights and some power outages that have been reported across areas. And until those generators kick in or until the lights are repaired, as far as signal lights, you need to treat them as a four-way stop. So as we dig down deep into downtown, we do have those delays running right by Dyken Park, and those are to be expected. This is East Beltway at Wallaceville. You see your visibility issue KHOU plus a stall on the right side. You do need to have those low beams on and eyes up, cells down kind of morning. Over to you.
Okay, definitely a good advice for everybody out there, Jen. Now, as the storms move through our area, we have you covered. We've got crews all around Southeast Texas.
KHOU 11's Devon Raming in Galveston as the storms crawl up the coast. Ugochi Aloka sharing how Houston Stadium's prepared for today's World Cup match and the weather. But first, we want to get over to Jalissa Garza out on the roads right now and all morning long. All right, Jalissa, where are you right now and what are you seeing?
Hey guys, good morning. Well, we are still en route to League City. We just got out of the Santa Fe area, getting closer to the Alvin area, where it's really a completely different story than what we saw along 288 earlier this morning. Let me show you a look. We are at a stop sign right now, or at a red light, my bad, right now. So waiting so we can continue our route to League City, but you can see it's really just drizzling right now, and you're not seeing the same kind of ponding or heavy water in ditches that we saw when we were in Lake Jackson, closer to the Angleton area. But also, Jacob and Alona, yesterday we were talking about how, I have to make sure my family is locked in, giving me updates. So I put them to work this morning too. From my family out in Tomball, they tell me it's drizzling and cloudy, no issues there. My family in Cypress says they'll give me an update soon because I had to wake them up, and that's just what you got to do sometimes. My family over in Greens Point, I'm talking off 45 and Imperial Valley, West Road over there, they're not seeing any problems, but they are keeping me updated. But this is really what you're seeing in Alvin right now for my folks who live out here. A little bit of sprinkling, obviously slick roadways, so you do want to give yourself some extra time. So really what we're keeping an eye out for as we continue to make our way to League City is where there's any ponding, the slick roads, if we're seeing any water overflowing in some ditches like what we saw earlier this morning. But just a reminder to everybody, give yourself some extra time. We know conditions can change quickly. It may be raining crazy where you are, but not where someone else is. So we'll keep our eyes on the road, keep tracking towards League City very safely. And for now, I'll toss it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay. All right. Great to look at it. And we see Devon right there as well.
Yeah, so Devon is in Galveston right along the seawall. This is where they've been seeing rain and wind all morning long. Devon, what are you seeing right now?
Hey guys, yeah, we've been out here monitoring conditions all morning long. We've got our wind gauge here, but this wind gauge is not telling the full story. Right now it's saying wind speeds are at about 16 miles per hour, but we've seen it get as high as about 23 miles per hour, and that's not accounting for the gusts that we've been getting that keep whipping in through this area onto the island from the Gulf of Mexico. You can see just how windy it is just from how strong the winds are blowing through the palmetto palms here, as well as how choppy the seas are right now as far as the Gulf of Mexico is concerned. We've also had power outages here. We're at the corner of 61st and Seawall Boulevard, and both blocks at this intersection are completely without power. There's the Casa del Mar Suites and Rentals. That building is completely without power, as well as the gas station where we're standing. We're under the awning here at this Exxon gas station on the corner, which is completely out of power. And that's been much of the story here this morning, is the wind and the impacts. And we're going to see more of this playing out as the system continues to move up the coastline, just off the coast of our area here. And another major concern for the folks living here in Galveston is the flooding situation, which they are no strangers to out here in this area. And the big concern right now is the amount of rainfall in such a short period of time, as well as that coinciding with high tide is going to lead to some flooding here, and especially some of the low-lying areas that flood regularly, even during some of the afternoon showers that the island sees here from time to time. But again, that's the latest here from Galveston Island as far as the story here. The rain is actually off and on. It's really more so just the wind that's directly impacting the outcome out here with what we're seeing. For now, reporting live in Galveston, Devon Raming, KHOU 11 News.
Yeah, everybody's getting blown around down there. Devon, thank you. Now, all eyes will be on Houston Stadium later today as Portugal takes on Congo. Cristiano Ronaldo beginning his campaign to do what he has never done before, and that is win a World Cup.
Maybe the only thing he's not done in soccer yet. But before the match kicks off, our attention's on the weather, with the potential of heavy rain hanging over the city leading up into kickoff. Ugochi Aloka joins us live near Houston Stadium with transportation plans for the World Cup. Ugochi, Metro seems to be the most popular option, and they have some plans.
Yes, yes, especially when you take a look at empty parking lots. That was a big thing on Sunday. We're next to one that was empty that day here just up the street from Houston Stadium. Also with long lines for the Metro Rail outside the stadium again on Sunday. Now Houston Metro leaders say they will open the NRG Center to give riders a place to wait indoors as officials monitor weather conditions out here. For Houston's first World Cup match Sunday, officials say about 14,000 people rode the rail to the stadium and about 20,000 left the stadium by rail, with many forced to wait outside because of backed up lines. That's why officials at Metro say they have opened the NRG Center for train riders to wait and get a break from uncertain weather elements outdoors. People can also sign up for Alert Houston by texting Alert Houston, all one word, to 888-777, and that gets you enrolled in their messaging. Officials set up a specific group for World Cup folks. If you are from out of town, you can use KHOU WC26, all one word. Now, if you text that to 888-777, you'll get messaging during the World Cup period. Now, here's what Mayor Whitmire has to say about crowd control on match days.
Houston's the most friendliest city that you've ever visited. You know, we've taken all that in consideration. And yesterday or day before was the first game. Metro obviously had huge crowds, probably unlike what we've ever experienced before. The rodeo produces large crowds, but have thousands of people to leave at the same time in this scorching heat. They have made alterations to waiting in line. With now they will be stationed in NRG and cooling center to then be allowed to enter the rail system.
Yeah, a good update there on their plans there. So again, NRG Center will be open for those riders coming to the actual World Cup match today using Metro. Also, we know that Metro encourages riders to stay up to date with schedule changes due to weather by downloading their Metro app. They are recommending using that to really just stay informed throughout the day. Coming up in the next hour, we have more on weather plans scheduled for today. Reporting live outside Houston Stadium, Ugochi Iloka, KHOU 11 News.
Okay.